Is all this noise being created that Mahua Moitra was targeting Adani, was it like a lot of brouhaha, storm in a teacup? Is this that unusual that a member of parliament is asking questions on behalf of somebody else? Well, I have had people tell me off the record, but I'm not going to give any names, but instances where even a member of the ruling party, an MP of the ruling party, will give a question to be asked to the opposition just to make another member of the said ruling party uncomfortable. They clearly know that they cannot ask that question being in the ruling party. So they give it to somebody else and say, here, ask this question and let us see him or her squirm. So this kind of, asking questions, putting up questions to be asked is not new. However, what is important here is, was there a pattern? Was it a consistent pattern to try and benefit one party over the other? That's what you need to be looking at. How did this all come to it? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what happened. Mahua Moitra, for those of you who don't know, is a member of Trinamool Congress. She's a member of parliament, I think from Krishna Nagar or something like that, constituency. And she's pretty vocal. She's articulate. She has worked in, I think, finance. And she came back from abroad and she has been a member of parliament, very visible, and takes pot shots at the BJP quite a bit. I mean, but then that is her party dharma, right? She's in the opposition. That is their kartavya to put the ruling party on the mat. Now, that part I have no problem with. Now, here is where things get interesting. Mahua Moitra, a puppy, an MP, a puppy, and a boyfriend. Why I'm saying this is a personal life. It should be nothing to do with what happened. But the whole story hinges around this. Looks like these two got estranged, but they could never agree over what happens to a puppy that they both shared. And there have been complaints by Mahua Moitra allegedly at 𝗤𝙧𝙤𝙪, the boy, the guy. And he's a Supreme Court lawyer. He's got, excellent credentials. He's a UPenn graduate, Wharton graduate. He's done LLM from there, practices criminal law in High Court and the Supreme Court. So from a professional point of view, it's all separate. What really seems to have, escalated to this level is that both were sparring over a pet dog. Looks like he must have taken the dog with him because there is story of Mahua Moitra having filed numerous amounts of complaints. So did this escalate to a point now where it is alleged that Jay has actually filed an affidavit with the entire set of questions and pointing out, this is starting from 2019, pointing out how many favored Adani, how many favored his perceived rival Hiranandani. Evidently, Hiranandani is a builder, but he's also having some sort of a data center business also. So bunch of things around this. And here is the list. This is taken from a tweet and the veracity is not known. However, if you want to go take a look at it, you can. I'm giving you the link to the tweet. You can take a look at it. So I want to tell you guys that these are all allegations at this point of time. And she has actually sent notices to several publications, including Twitter, that, to stop putting out any data. This is all done and dusted. Now, I'm not going to probably everything going forward will stop. But is this that new that somebody is putting a question put up by somebody else or requested to ask by somebody else? No. In fact, you can go back and see so many different instances in the Indian Parliament's history where you can clearly see that the question was not essentially by that person. Anyway, so this is an ugly side of Parliament, ugly side of, this is something similar to what lobbying is in the United States. In the United States, it's given a legal term, it's called lobbying. Interests will come and say, okay, I want you to do this thing. And for that, the said senator or congressman will essentially move the things around in the background. Sometimes even ask inconvenient questions or give interviews, airing some thoughts and so on and so forth. If they are on select committees, those things get washed out there. Some agreements are arrived at. This is happening all the time in the United States, and I'm sure in Parliament, this is one way of trying to exert influence. If this influence led to these questions being asked, well, somebody has to determine if it is true or not. Clearly, the BJP is not taking a very neutral view here. Their Minister for IT has hinted that the questions that are doing the rounds in Twitter look very, very close to what this particular person, 𝗤𝗏𝗍𝗍 Deepak 𝗤𝗏𝗍, had asked him in a face-to-face interview. I think he was asking that India mandate a rule to have all data centers localized. I've been saying this, that it is good for India to have all the data that pertains to Indian citizens to be located within the geographical boundaries of India. So that said, what it is, how this is going to play out is something that we'll have to wait and see. Clearly, the government is probably taking the side of Adani, although I must say that Adani is no saint. I've been very disappointed with how the NDTV affair has been handled. You can give the assets of NDTV to Adani, but you should not let Prannoy Roy and Radhika Roy go unpunished for all the sins they committed. Money laundering, stock manipulation, round tripping. I mean, you can go on, and all of that stuff is completely washed. It's like, purified. How is that possible? You could have separated the assets of NDTV from the crimes committed and made sure that the person who committed the crimes get the full weight of the law on them. See, this kind of a selective application of law also is not good, guys. People are going to hesitate to come and set up mega deals in India. Most of the reason why you have all these shenanigans about participatory notes is because foreign investors don't want to get their feet wet inside the legislative and taxation system of India. What they would rather do is say, okay, give us a way that we can come in, invest in a particular stock, and then we think that that stock's going to do well, and then we'll take the money out and you should not be asking any questions. That's exactly what the participatory note allows you to do. Anonymous people with PN participatory notes will come in and put the money in the share market, and if it is done in a concerted way, the stock runs up, then all of them cash out, and people who are the common retail investors, they all are left holding the bag. I feel boldened to even add LIC and SBI. In the reign of UPA, even they were being asked to buy these stocks. So I think, and it is my contention, that State Bank of India, Life Insurance Corporation are all sitting on tons of stock that is not even worth the paper on which they are printed. So a lot of house cleaning that needs to be done. I don't know when BJP is going to get around to it. Clearly, the stock exchange, the way NSE operates with impunity, the way all their executives are getting away with almost, what I would call as murder in terms of how they have committed huge crimes in the co-location scam, and nobody has paid even a paisa of fine, and they are all escaping. This doesn't augur well for India. At some point of time, the FPIs will find, the big investors will find some other greener pasture to invest in, and that would be the end of India's growth story. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.
𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏